Monday night football review with me, Tom, and either to the left or to the right of me, Shane, where we talk about all the results from the weekend and a lot more. We're also going to go through the 3 sporting highlights over the last week, all the football from the weekend, and a lot more. How are you doing, mate?
Not too bad, Tomo. Busy week at work. Done a Sunday shift. Worked all day today. Draining me until like 7:15 at night working. I mean, they're getting their pennies worth out of me, but it's life, innit? You got to pay the bill somehow, Tom.
That's it. So you worked all day yesterday. You've worked today. You finished half an hour ago. It's about 8 o'clock now. If that's not commitment, mate, I don't know what is, Sonny.
Hey, I'm just ready for it, mate. Do you know what it is? This is the nice part of the evening, Tom. Do you know what I mean? Like, work was like work, and like this is nice. It's a bit of football, bit of talk, bit of banter. Just crack on. It's normal, isn't it?
This is the chat we'd normally have on a Monday morning in the office, but now we both work from home and have done for the last God knows how long. This is where we get our little catch up.
This is it. This is our in the office, out of the office banter, basically, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, before we get started, if you're new to the channel, again, my name's Tom, the other fellow Shane. Remember to subscribe and press the notification bell so you get notified every time we upload. Every single Monday, we review the football from the weekend. So let's get into it, matey.
Yeah, so we start off with the first game. Well, that was a Sunday game. We'll start off with the Liverpool-Man City game. Ended up being 2-2 that game. It was a quality game. First half, I think Man City were running them ragged. Bit unfortunate they didn't get taking advantage of that. But the second half was just quality. Do you mean it's nice when you watch a game and Jim, you got to say it sometimes, but Man City and Liverpool, they got some quality players, and when they all perform properly, you get a banging game of football, and that's what it turned out. It was proper quality, and I'll give you some credit here because this will be the first time. This is the first time, Tomo. You went and picked a 2-2 draw on that one.
Go on, son.
You get 2 points for that. I went for a 2-1 Liverpool win, so at the minute you're in front. But yeah, quality game. What's quality? What do you think?
Yeah, do you know what? I watched the highlights today, like properly, and yeah, first half 0-0, couldn't believe it. Second half, every single goal was brilliant. Sané's goal, Salah's goal, Foden, and then De Bruyne. What a finish! But yeah, quality game, quality players, and I don't know. I think it could be between them and Liverpool. You know, the way they're playing at the moment. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Well, who do you have in your team at the moment? Harry Kane or Salah?
To be honest, if you're talking about stats and the goals that they've scored, you'd have to say Salah, wouldn't you? To be honest, Harry's not done anything. He's not put the ball in the back of net in the Premiership. He's got his Conference League goals in the Tin Pot European Cup. He's doing all right in that at the minute, but he's a slow starter, so I still wouldn't put it past him getting. Do you mean there's 30 goals at the end of the season? I mean, it's like a bus with him. Do you mean nothing comes along, then all of a sudden it's 2, 3, 4 in a row? So
yeah, do you know what? I thought he was going to kick on this weekend after scoring a hat trick in, like you say, the football during the week against that pub side. I thought he was going to get his sort of domestic goals. Yeah, I thought he was going to bang a few in, but obviously it wasn't to be. But both on their day, who would you take? Would you take Kane over Salah?
On their day, I'd take Kane.
Yeah.
On the day, I'd take Kane.
Well, I suppose you're a Tottenham fan. You're going to say that, but. Yeah, no, he's a brilliant player. He's got to be maybe the best player in the Premiership at the moment.
Well, Salah, yeah, I don't know. They're different players, aren't they? He's sort of like he's quick, nifty, and nimble on his feet, and a cut inside. He give the defender cruciate ligament damage when he turns him inside out and put the ball in the back of the net. Kane's more he'll get the ball, pick it up, and he doesn't mind where he strikes it from. He's just got to get that in the net. I think there was a couple of opportunities yesterday against Villa where he could have scored. So I think he's getting close. It means he's getting close to it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, brilliant game, mate. Finishing was top class. Foden's goal as well from that quite a tight angle, buried it in the corner. Sané's goal put through. I think Salah got the assist for that as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then De Bruyne, mate, just doing what he does, like turning up at the right time, putting it away. Another brilliant player, probably again arguably best player in the Premiership. I know he's not playing. He's not doing great things at the moment, but on his day, one of the best.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. Like I said, it was like when you got two teams that have got quality in the team, and when they, do you mean when they both turn up and they perform, do you mean it's a good spectacle? Do you mean sometimes you get the two games, they build up all the hype, and it ends up being like, do you mean a bit dour and a bit sort of like
Yeah.
that? But that definitely was full marks for a game. That was a proper game. Enjoyed it from end to end. Good game.
Oh, Milner a bit naughty, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know how he got away with it as well. Do you mean Pep's going to have a heart attack if he
I
carries
thought he
on?
was going to come on, mate, and nut him.
Yeah, I mean, and then what was it? Was it Fabinho? He did the foul on someone else, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
couple of naughty challenges.
yeah, and he got like a yellow. So one of those games
But
really.
yeah,
But yeah,
2-2, mate. First prediction right after a few weeks, so I'll take that.
yeah. So you're warming up, Tom. You're getting the hang of these predictions now. You realise you've got to get the right result. That's the thing. So
That's it.
then we go from the quality game down to Burnley Norwich. It was like a bit dire, that one, to be honest. It was a 0-0. Did I have much hope for it, to be honest? Didn't have much hope for it. I mean, as in, you look at both teams, and there's Norwich can't get a win from anywhere. Do you know what I mean? They're sort of struggling. You got
It's their first point, I
Burnley.
think.
Yeah, you got Burnley are sort of like, they're not renowned for their quality Barcelona tiki-taka football, are they? So it was never going to be a high scoring one. But to be honest, I went 1-0 Burnley. You went 2-0 Burnley, and it ended up being a 0-0. So neither of us done anything on that one.
Yeah, you're right. It was never going to be box office, was it? That game, Norwich, like you say, first point of the season. Burnley have had a bit of a, I don't know, a bumpy start, so I didn't expect too much. But a 0-0, not much to say about the game, to be honest.
And to be honest, I don't understand why I didn't go for 0-0 off the off. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at them two, and I think it's a 0-0 all day now. I think, but
Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it's easy.
Exactly. And then the Chelsea game, 3-1 Southampton. I went for 2-1 Chelsea. You went for a 2-0 Chelsea. So we both get a point for that one. I think Southampton went down to 10 men in the end, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah. And I think Chelsea, it's weird. It's like they can turn up and perform, or like the Man City game where they're sort of like they're not at the races. And but I expected them to beat Southampton. Do you mean they got the ammo to beat Southampton? And I think it was expected, the result, that one. What did you think?
Yeah, I think after midweek, they lost to Juventus in the Champions League. I think they would kick on. I thought they'd beat Southampton before the game, but yeah, they look strong. They just look like they're going to score 2 or 3 goals every game, and I think in the league they more or less have done that. They're creating a lot. Werner even scored. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, they look good for it. But obviously helped with Southampton going down to 10 men.
Yeah. The following game was the Leeds-Watford game. I went for a 2-2 for that one. You went for a 2-1 Leeds one, so you actually pick up another point there, Tom. So you're not doing too bad on your score.
Sunshine.
And but yeah, I expected Leeds to sort of like hold their own against Watford. I would have thought, actually, I went for a 2-2 draw, and thinking of it, I should have thought that Leeds could have got a few more against Watford. They played quite well. But like Watford, they can be quite stubborn, to be honest, and they're not doing that bad. They're not like pulling up trees with their performances or anything, but they're sort of in there, and they got workhorses in that team, really. So they will make it difficult for teams, I think. And I think that's what Leeds found out in the end, and Leeds will probably be thankful that they got the goal just to get the 3 points.
Yeah, I think obviously Watford just sat their managers at the weekend. I thought maybe. I don't know. I think I thought they would do a little bit more than they did, but can't take it away from Leeds. They've got off to a strong start, playing some decent stuff like free flowing football, and like you say, we're not lucky, but I think they're be happy with the 1-0 result.
Yeah, I do like Bielsa there though, as their manager. I do like the sort of football that he tries to instill in them. I do like the way they do press. They do try to play football. They do try to be sort of open and expansive. But I think if you've got teams that will sort of sit back and put a low block on them, then it can be a little bit telling for them. I wonder if although they've got all do you mean all the means for the possession and to get in there and sort of like press hard? Sometimes I think they just lack a little bit of quality. Do you mean they've probably got 3 or 4 quality players in that team? They just need an influx of another 4 quality players to sort of like push on, I think, with Leeds. But yeah, I still like watching them play. I still like their football.
Yeah,
The Wolves.
they're brilliant side to watch. But yeah, I think sometimes as well when they're ahead, they need to like shut up shop. But yeah, not a good result for them in the end.
Yeah, and then you had the Wolves game, Wolves Newcastle, Wolves at home. Wolves got a 2-1 result on that one. You went for a 0-0. I went for a 2-0, so I pick up a point on that one. So I mean, I'm clawing it back at the minute. Wolves, yeah, they were good for the result. They were good for the win. I mean, that Lage, is it Bruno Lage, the manager?
Sounds about right, matey.
I think that's I think it's Bruno Lage or Bruno Lage, but I mean, I think obviously he's a new manager, isn't he? So he's still trying to instill his sort of like football and his philosophy in there. So it might take a bit of time for them to go over Nuno, but Newcastle.
It's looking pretty bleak for a minute. Newcastle, I think they've got 3 points, and yeah, I don't know. They're not looking too good. And now that Watford have got rid of their manager, I don't like to see managers lose their job, but Steve Bruce has got to be under some real pressure now.
Yeah, it could be. I think it could be under pressure. You then went on to the Arsenal game, Arsenal-Brighton, Brighton at home. I was hoping Brighton was going to get a nice little 2-1 win there against the Gooners, but 0-0. You went for a 2-2, so you got another point there for the draw. So again, not doing too bad. I think that was more of a game for Arsenal. I knew that Brighton would sort of push them and test them. And yeah, Brighton, he's got them playing that football. You know they're going to be difficult to break down, but you also know that they're going to create chances, Brighton. And I think Arsenal had a difficult night during that game. They was in a game. They realised they was in a game as well. They didn't have it easy like they had it the week before when they played Spurs when we didn't show up. Brighton actually turned up, and do you mean they was there to play football? And I think that's the difference. I think, do you mean if you go and you give 100% effort, all your players, your players win your battles. The worst thing you're going to do is come out of a draw, and I think that's what he does with his Brighton team. Do you know what I mean? They all go out to battle. They've got to win their battles, and they put up a performance. And I think that's what Brighton will do all right this season.
Yeah, they're a well organised, resilient team, and yeah, I think looking at it on paper, they would take a point off Arsenal all day long. But then on the flip side of that, if you're an Arsenal fan or you're part of the Arsenal setup, you've got to be looking at that and thinking, do you know what? Just turned over Tottenham 3-1. We've got to be able to do Brighton. But I don't know what it is with them. It's just all that firepower they got up top. Saka is playing well. They just can't seem to string any results together. But yeah, fair play to Brighton, mate. They'll take that point all day long.
Yeah, then you got the Palace-Leicester game. So I went for a 2-2 draw on that game. Bang on with the result, 2-2. Leicester Palace. You went for a 3-3, so you still pick a point up, just didn't get the right score. So you're not doing too bad. That was a weird game as well. Palace, Leicester, I think they went up. They went 2 up, but I'm pretty much thinking when I watched the highlights, it was a bit like a smash and grab. That was sort of like, it was a lot of Palace. Leicester got the goals, Vardy got the second one, and then obviously Palace come back in the second half and got the 2 late goals. So yeah, and I think that's probably more about Vieira, isn't it? I think that's Vieira, what he's sort of bringing to Palace. He's bringing that sort of that fighting mentality, that don't sort of give up mentality. I think that's what Palace needed, a bit of that. So he's instilled a little bit of still in Palace.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's been a couple of games where they've been out of it. I can't remember the other one. I know they were down, but they came back and I think they got a draw. But I think you're spot on. You think of Vieira when he was a player, just relentless. He wouldn't stop to the final whistle, a bit like Roy Keane in that respect. But for Leicester to go 2-0 up, even though Palace were a bit sloppy at the back, for them to go 2-0 up, you think they'd just shut up shop, see the game out. But yeah, fair play to Crystal Palace, they came back. But again, Leicester, I don't know, they've not had a great start to the season. I think they lost in the week as well, didn't they?
Yeah, so to be honest, I don't even know where they are in the league at the minute. So they're below 8th place somewhere down there. And you think of like Brendan Rodgers and all he does and what he brings to the football. you wonder if, like, I don't know about Leicester. Will this be the season where they don't actually kick on, and Brendan starts looking for something elsewhere? I've always had like a sneaky suspicion that obviously Levy is someone that really likes Rodgers. He's tried to get him on a few occasions, and I just wonder if this will be the year that sort of like Leicester don't, reach the heights that they should be. Obviously, they've been close to Champions League football for the last couple of seasons, fell away come the end. I wonder if this is just like the beginning of that. And it's a surprise really, because he invested in some good players, didn't he?
Yeah, do you know what? I was surprised that Arsenal didn't try and snap him up when they got rid of Ray Emery before they got in Arteta. I thought, do you know what? Brendan Rodgers, top manager, done good things at Liverpool, wasn't far off winning the league. We all know what he done at Celtic. No chance Leicester are going to get in the top 4 this season. I'll be really surprised. You've got Liverpool, Chelsea, City, and United. I think that would take those spots. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. But they've got off to a bit of a slow start, and to be 2-0 up, to draw 2-2, I think they'd be disappointed.
Yeah, definitely points lost in that one. And then Mighty White Spurs, they start winning again. But I mean, again, it's funny because you think, like, we're playing Villa. We had a bad result the weekend before. Villa come off the back of a win at Old Trafford. Their confidence was high. I wasn't meaning to bring it up like that, but obviously their confidence was high, and we actually played a good game. I think we had Romero was in centre half. He was alongside Dyer. Emerson had a good game as well. So they're two of the new players that are trying to gel. He put Skip, Højbjerg, and Ndombele in the middle of the park, so there's a bit more energy. Højbjerg, it was the funny thing is he was expecting Ndombele to be the man to get forward and create stuff. It turned out being Højbjerg who was the man who was creating stuff and scoring the goals. We're looking at Ndombele and like I see it online and everywhere. It's weird. It's like he's got no energy. I don't know either. Everyone around him is like super fit, and they're making him look bad. Or he's unfit. There's something about him. He ain't got the engine in him that he needs at the minute to sort of like push on in the Premiership and do what he's got to do. It amazes me because he's obviously at training. He's obviously going training every day. Do you mean they're looking at him? So he must be doing something, but something not quite there right with him. But we got the result. We got Sonny. Sonny played an absolute blinder.
Yeah, he played really well.
And it was just a good quality game. We pressed. We did well. We defended as a unit. We kept them out, and it weren't a game where we sort of like we scraped it and we were lucky to get the win. It was actually one of the games where we won and we deserved the 3 points. So all Tottenham fans out there, we'd be quite happy with that one, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you needed that result after being, battered by Arsenal last weekend. I know you won midweek, but against the pub side. But I think going back to anyone at the moment can beat anyone. Like you touched on last week, Villa turn over United. They look really good for it as well. This week, you beat them. So anyone can beat anyone, and that's why it makes it so interesting. That's why it's so hard to predict a match. So every week we do our predictions, and you think, oh yeah, that'll probably happen, and 9 times out of 10 I'm wrong. But yeah, it makes it interesting, mate. Edge of your seat stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously I'm going to touch on it a little bit later, but then obviously we've got the Brentford machine, West Ham. So you went for a 2-1 West Ham win. I went for a 3-2 West Ham win. And why did I do it? I should have went for Brentford. Brentford have just been performing well. I'm dreading when we play them, to be honest. So they've done Arsenal.
I love this though. Now we've got all the results. You're like, oh, why don't I just put that on?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a bit like that. It's like Brentford. I think they're just that. Is it Thomas Frank? Is he German? The boy, like their manager. He's something. He's not English. He's either French, German, or Austrian or something. But he's got them playing really well. Do you mean? And again, that's one of those clubs that you look at and you just say to them, you say to each player in that dressing room, win your battle, perform, and we'll be all right. And Brentford go out and do it every week at the minute. Do you mean it shouldn't surprise me now that they beat West Ham, because I've seen what they've done so far. And maybe with Brentford, it might be a case of their first 11 are their team. That's the quality. it might be a struggle if we get into Christmas and if we get a couple of injuries. We'll have to see how they perform at that point. But I think all the while they've got their first 11 out there, they seem to be a good unit, good strong team, and well deserved of their points. I mean, they're sitting 7th in the league, above Spurs on 14 points. So you can't say they're 2 points off top of the league.
I was just gonna say, 7th in the league. They're going from strength to strength. They've beaten Arsenal already this season, taken points off Liverpool. They can score goals, they can dig in, and they can get late winners. Just beating West Ham. So I think they're still on a massive high from being promoted to the Premiership this season. The thing I like about them as well, they're not going to big teams and thinking, yeah, do you know what? We'll just shut up shop and hopefully we can nick a draw. They're going to Anfield. I think it was Anfield. They're going to big. Yeah, that's it. They're having a go. And if you're a Brentford fan, or if you're neutral, you'd rather watch a game where the underdog actually has a go and maybe get a result. Or even if they lose, you'd rather see them go out fighting than just playing or parking the bus, boring football. But yeah, going from strength to strength. And I think a lot of us would like to see them do well, but they might be the surprise package this season.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the only thing, my only concern is everyone in the top half at the minute, of the top 6 or top 7. If you look at their squads and you look at what they got on the bench, I think that's when if you start looking at Brentford and you start looking at Brighton and you start looking at the other teams a little bit below. It's just when you look at the bench what they've got to bring on if they have like an injury crisis. But fingers crossed they avoid the big injuries, and it'd be nice to see them push on through the whole season, like really battling with people. Apart from when they come to White Hart Lane and we go to there. Yeah,
it's actually quite refreshing to see a team like that doing well. I know they've been pushing to get in the Premiership for a few years. They missed out, I think, a couple of years ago. They're in the Premiership now, up to 7th, doing well, and hopefully they can stay there as well. As long as they're not above United at the end, I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. So that was pretty much the roundup for the football. Normally, then we have our free picks or things that have been of interest to you during the sort of like the week. Anything sport related. Do you want me to fire away with mine, or do you want to go with yours first?
Yeah, I'll do mine first if you want.
Yeah, go on.
So first one, Champions League. City versus PSG. I think it was Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Messi's goal, absolutely brilliant. Did you see it?
Yeah, lovely. It was like a bit of one touch, wasn't it? Messi picked the ball up. He played it in. Who did he play it into? Was it Mbappe or Neymar? Played it back to him.
I think it was Neymar. But yeah. just a genius. He's moved over to PSG. He's still got it in the French league, a bit like Ronaldo coming over to the Premiership. There's all these questions about have they still got it, but you look at their top 3, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, absolutely brilliant. I think they've got one of the best. I think they've got the best right back in the world as well. They've got Ramos there now, from obviously used to be at Real Madrid, who's won the Champions League multiple times, and just with the know-how of that team as well. Just think they've got to be favourites to go on and win the Champions League this year. But yeah, they look good, mate. Really good.
Yeah, I think his effort. I think the finish. It wasn't like he put his foot through it. It was like he just placed it. It was just he just sort of like caressed it and guided it to where it was going. So yeah, it was a quality goal.
Yeah, when you watch any sport, whether it's tennis, football, whatever it is at the top level, they just make it look effortless, don't they?
Yeah, it was cream. It was a cracking strike. But on that note about PSG and the football, I think you got Pochettino. So they go and do that in Man City, but then they struggle away to Rennes, and Rennes beat them 2-0. Do you mean? So it's one of those, isn't it? It's like maybe they're doing it on the big platform in the big games. But he's got to do something with them in their league form, I think. Because
they didn't win the league last year, did they? I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Lille won it. Yeah. And when you've got that team, I think firstly, your domestic season, that's got to be not a foregone conclusion, but that's like your first trophy in the cabinet. And when you've got the firepower they've got and the money and the resources they've got, you got to be thinking the domestic leads are given. But yeah, no, they didn't, and they do lose a few games. But look at Barcelona. I don't know the exact stat, but I think they've lost their last 5 league games or something like that.
Yeah.
Really struggling. I think Ronald Koeman's under pressure. But yeah, no, the goal was brilliant. Watched it. That was my first pick of the last week. The second pick was Mo Salah's goal yesterday. Just what a goal. Just the way he goes in and out of people. He's got such a low centre of gravity, like he twists and turns. Just a beautiful goal. The way he put it in the corner, so composed, scoring so many goals at the moment. I think he's the quickest Liverpool player to reach 100 as well. Done a few weeks ago. But yeah, no, just brilliant at goal, and then he's turning up with assists as well. So yeah, brilliant goal yesterday for him.
Yeah, he's quality. I always remember. I can't remember. It was Jamie Carragher when he scored, and he got obviously in Jamie Carragher's sort of Scouse Liverpudlian squeaking voice going about Salah, my little dancer or something. That always springs to mind when I think of Salah and him scoring goals. But yeah, no, he is quality. Funny, isn't it though, how he was like at Chelsea and sort of like under Mourinho with De Bruyne and other couple of players that sort of like got shifted out as not potentially being good enough, and now you see what he's done. Did he go to Roma and then went to Liverpool? Was that where he went? Roma, Liverpool?
I'm not 100% sure, but all I know now is he walks into any team in the world, surely.
Yeah, definitely. Do you mean Barca would have him, Real Madrid would have him, Man U would have had him? Definitely.
Yeah, well, I think they're talking about renewing his contract on. I think they're talking about $500,000 a week. It's an obscene amount of money, but in the modern era, he's got to be worth it, isn't he? $500,000 a week. He's the difference between winning the league or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they got to start drawing a line, haven't they, of like these sort of salaries. You can't, start banging out $500,000 a week and stuff. Do you mean? It was like Ronaldo and Bale, and that was on that. They was on that kind of money. I'm not really expecting it to sort of happen here, but I suppose if the money's available and it's what you got to do to keep them, then it just, like you say, it's a little bit sort of it's a little bit sickening, isn't it? That kind of money that you can get. I wouldn't turn it down, Tom. To be honest, I'm not going to say no, I wouldn't have it.
Be a pay cut for you, wouldn't it?
Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah. But now, yeah, he's quality. Is he worth $500,000 a week?
No one's worth $500,000 a week. Let's be honest. But again, we were talking about football and the Premiership and all the money floating around, But I think they'll pay it, Otherwise, he's off. That's the difference. But yeah, absolute brilliant player. The goal he scored yesterday against City, so elegant the way he just goes for it. It reminded me of Messi a little bit. Just the way he just went through people, cuts inside, goes back, buries it. Beautiful goal.
Yeah, he's scored a few like that, and so yeah, he cut and he rolled his ball over. He rolled his foot over the ball. He sort of brought Rodri in, didn't he? And Rodri think, right, he's going to bang it in with his left into the top corner. Sold him a dummy, brought it back in on the right, and then just put it across the keeper. Yeah, cracking goal, good quality goal. But you expect it from Salah. It wasn't like a surprise when he did it, was it? It was
he's been doing it for a few years, but I think like this year he started the season in fine form, and I think he'll be up there top goal scorer at the end of the season. Third pick was Ebony Jones. She made her professional debut on Sky Boxing on Saturday night. A 22-year-old female boxer. I don't know loads about her because she's only just sort of come on the scene up when there's a professional debut. 22 years old, really good win. She looks dangerous, really aggressive. She had 3 years out of the ring, but yeah, made a professional debut and looked really good for it.
Cool. What's she? Lightweight, middleweight? What sort of weight?
Featherweight.
Right.
Yeah, she's from Southampton. I think she's also in the army as well. I don't know loads about her, but I was just watching the highlights, and yeah, she looks quite girly, but she gets in that ring, mate. She put it on her opponent, and yeah, she got the win, so got off to a good start, and I look forward to following her career.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. So, pretty good picks there. I'll just go. What I was looking at was my first pick. We touched on already was Brentford, because it's for me it's like it's a bit of like a beginning of a fairy tale sort of like start for Brentford, and really for the team to come up for when they've missed out on promotion before, the amount of times they missed out on promotion, They've got the new stadium. They're in the big league, and they're sort of like they're just turning up to games. And like I say, it's a breath of fresh air just to see a team go out, no fear, just sort of. Do you mean they're not prima donnas? Do you mean they're not full of Messis and Ronaldos? They're full of just hard-working grafters that go out, good solid professionals who look like they're happy that they're in the Premiership. Do you mean they're not taking anything for granted? They're sort of like, this is where we want to be. This is what we're doing. This is the effort we're giving. And I mean, if you're a Brentford supporter and you're watching that, you must be, do you mean, well chuffed to see what they're doing.
Yeah, they look like a proper team, proper like team spirit, and they're going from strength to strength, looking good for it. Getting a late winner against West Ham yesterday, which I was a little bit surprised with. West Ham playing some good stuff. They won in midweek as well. But yeah, fair play to them, mate. Playing really well, and I think they're still on a high from getting promotion. But yeah, come the end of the season, I'd like to see them up there.
Yeah, definitely. So that's my first pick. The second pick was obviously the Tinkerman Ranieri. He's coming back to the Premiership, isn't he?
Yes.
And I don't know. Do you mean does this mean that like next season Spurs might be pushing for the league title and we get pipped by Watford? Do you mean is he going to do what he done with Leicester? I just don't know. I don't want it to happen again. I'm having sort of like heart palpitations, thinking is this going to happen all over again? But I mean, it's what I like to see him back in the league. I like him as a character. I like him as a manager. And I think Watford have done well to get hold of him. To be honest, do you mean he's won things?
I think that the year that Leicester won the league, credit where credit's due. But I think it was the perfect storm for them. I think all the big boys were rebuilding. Goes without saying because you were challenging for the league. But yeah, no, I think it was a perfect storm for Leicester. Vardy was on form, banging the goals in. They picked up hardly any injuries. They were just a proper team and playing really good football. And yeah, they deserve to win it because you're there after 38 games and you do deserve to win it. But I think it was a one-off, and I can't see it happening again. But yeah, no, glad he's back in the Premiership. He's a character. I like him. He's very likable. But yeah, I don't think he'd be challenging for the league with them. I'd be surprised. Not surprised, but I think they're gonna be in a relegation battle this season.
Is this one of these ones where I put like a £10 bet on them to win the thing next season, and I cash out sort of like halfway through?
Well, you can fill your boots, but I think but no, I think when Leicester won it, I think they were 5,000 to 1 to win it. I think a few people had like fivers, tenors, Leicester fans and that. But yeah, what would you do if you're like just after Christmas, you're top of the league, 6 points clear, you can cash out, I don't know, for £1,000. What do you stick with that or do you cash out?
You know me, Tom, I'm going to cash out and take the money.
Yeah, mate, I've cashed out already. Yeah, I'm gone. I'm not on a fruit machine. I'm like 50p up. Yeah, that's me done. Take me money. But yeah, no, I'm glad he's back. But I think when Leicester won the season a few years ago as well, I think since they win it, the odds have been slashed anyway.
Yeah, nah. And then my third pick is John Fury, really, because obviously
love that man,
Tyson. But he's just I've watched a couple of interviews with him, and I just think he's so sort of like he draws you in with all his knowledge about the game, about boxing. He's sort of like he comes across as unbiased in his sort of like discussions, and it's sometimes I think to myself, it's the sort of person Anthony Joshua needs in his camp. Do you know what I mean? Because he knows the game, he knows how to win things, and like in an interview I was watching with him, he was talking about sort of like the Sheffield trainers, McCracken and everything, and saying
he didn't hold back there, did he? Yeah,
he didn't hold back, and he was pretty much. And if I was AJ and I was watching that, part of me would be thinking, do you know what I mean? He's hitting the nail on the head a little bit, but it was like he was saying, you've got to have a plan A, you've got to have a B, C, D, E, F, G. You've got to have enough plans to try and overcome if something's not working. And he's just so knowledgeable about the sport, about the boxing. He's sort of like, he's so engaging. And I could sit there and listen to hours and hours of his interviews in relation to boxing and his sort of his breakdown of a particular boxing match and what he thinks, and do you know what I mean? Because I think he just got so much knowledge, and he was just like a good, interesting sort of listen, to be honest. And yeah, he don't hold back, but yeah, it was a good couple of interviews that I saw of him. So yeah, that sort of piqued my interest last week.
Yeah, no, I watched that full interview as well. It was a brilliant interview. He's so honest. He says it how it is, and yeah, he didn't hold back about saying what he thought about AJ and his team. And the thing that I really picked up on was the fact that he just said, use what you're good at, use the skills that you've got. Why are you trying to outbox Usyk? You are a professional boxer. Technically, you're very good, but there's levels, and you're not as good as Usyk. He had over 300 amateur fights. Undisputed cruiser heavyweight champion. Cruiserweight, sorry. Olympic gold medalist, undefeated. So why are you trying to box him? Just use the skills that you've got, put it on him, use your strength, lean over him. And he said, he would have slowed him down. And I don't know with AJ. I think that the thing I like about him, he never comes out and makes excuses. He will always say the better man won. But if you look at football, you lose big games and the managers get looked at closely. And there must be things going on in AJ's camp, AJ's team. They must be looking at things like that, because he's lost two big fights now, and it's a huge rematch. He's got it all to do, and he's going to be an underdog going into it. And even Eddie Hearn himself, he was saying, he got it wrong. Why was he trying to outbox him? Why didn't he use the attributes that he's got? That AJ that's he gets someone hurt and then he's clinical. He smells blood and he just puts people away. But like we said on the other podcast, it's almost like he doesn't trust his own chin, or he's caught in between two minds. But yeah, that John Fury interview is brilliant. Like I could listen to all day.
Do you think AJ would pull the trigger on McCracken? Do you think he would sort of like give him the elbow, or do you think he's just going to sort of like, okay, let's see how we do it this time? You would have thought.
Perfect example, mate. Tyson Fury fights and Deontay Wilder, first fight, obviously goes the distance. They get controversial draw. Controversial draw. He gets rid of Ben Davison. Everyone's a bit like, this bloke's, he joined up
where you were.
Yeah, he got you to the point where you could box again. He's got you to fight Wilder. You won it on, well, you didn't win it, but everyone thinks you did.
Yeah.
He brings it. Is it Sugar Hill?
Fights
him again. He's a different fighter. I think there are certain fighters that you can change their way. I don't think AJ's necessarily. He's not got that same ability as Fury, because again, Fury's pedigree, he's been boxing for a long time, boxing family. But I don't know. I think AJ's a very, very loyal. He just signed a new deal with Matchroom to see his career out with them. It wouldn't surprise me if he stayed with Sky. But then again, a part of me thinks he will go because he wants to be in a global platform. Sky, predominantly the UK. I don't know. I think part of me.
Do you think he'll keep McCracken? Do you think he'll keep him in the corner?
I think he will, but I don't know. Yeah, I think he will. I don't think he'll get rid of him, but I think there's a lot of people out there, obviously, like John Fury said, that he needs to. He's not so many words. He needs to look at his team very closely, and is he getting the right guidance?
Yeah. I just think it's like, if like McCracken's his trainer, he's gone in with a game plan with AJ. Was the game plan wrong? But there was other things that were coming out of that were like McCracken was almost saying, like, off the cuff, sort of saying that AJ wasn't maybe following what the game plan was to stick it on him and thingy. So did AJ go against the trainer? Did AJ think he knew better?
The thing is, it's not just me and you saying this. It's every single person you speak to say, why didn't AJ go in there, bully him, let his hands go a little bit, put a bit more conviction behind in the shots, rough him up a little bit, use his, his strength to his advantage, use his attributes. Everyone's saying it. Eddie Hearn said it. Everyone's saying it. So I don't know. Why try and outbox a boxer who's on a different level to you? I don't get the tactics. I really don't.
Yeah, maybe that was just like, maybe it was an ego thing. Maybe it was like, maybe AJ thought he had the ability to do it, and that was. Do you mean if that's what he thought he could do, he thought he should do it over the 12 rounds, and obviously it didn't work out for him. But
you don't know, do you? When you're in there, it's easy for us to sit here and say, you should have done X, Y, and Z. But when you're, defending your belts, world title fights, all on the line in front of 60-odd thousand people, surely you've got to have a game plan. You've got to go in there and you've got to execute it. Because for me, Anthony Joshua, if he's in a 12-round fight, the odds of him winning just go down massively, because he's not. For me, he's not a 12-round fighter.
Yeah,
he's a clinical finishing, but then we're not seeing much clinical finishing at Tottenham, are we? Let's be honest. But he just didn't perform, and I was gutted, because I feel like I feel like when he watches that back, he'll just think, oh, I had so much more. I needed to leave it in the ring. But again, it's like he's caught in between two minds. He doesn't trust his chin. He seems like he's a confidence fighter at the moment. His confidence is pretty low. But it just makes for a massive rematch, huge rematch. But the thing is as well, when you're boxing, he's got 6 months to dwell on that and just think about it. Football, you can turn it around next week, you can win again, and your defeat's gone. But boxing, it's so different, and when you lose, it's significant at that level. And if he lost again, it'd be huge for him.
Yeah, I think we'll probably have to touch on that one again when we get closer to the rematch.
Mate,
but
we'd be all over that. We'll probably be invited to the event by then, I'm sure.
I would imagine so. I would like to think so. Yeah,
I'd love to get John Fury on here, mate. We'll have to give him a message.
Yeah, no, I think like we'll be all over that when that one comes. But I think that's again in the future. But yeah, that was part of the Fury that's obviously a bit of a sidetrack. But yeah, Fury was the one that sort of like brought all that to light. But yeah, that's something to come in the future. So that's obviously the 3 picks. What I was going to do is obviously do the predictions. Obviously we've got an international break. But after the international break, we've got the football. Obviously we've got Andorra, England, and then we've got England, Hungary. Might as well get a prediction on that one first. So let's go Andorra, England, and let's go 7-2 to England.
7-2?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they'll score. But then who am I to give a prediction?
Well, that's good. Maybe I'll go 7-0. I'm going to take it back. I'm going to 7-1.
7. God,
7-1.
I'm going to go 4-0 just came into my head straight away, so I'm going to go 4-0.
Okay. 7-1 lead. England, Hungary at home. England
3-0.
2-1 England.
3-0. 3-0.
Okay, so then we've got when the football comes back, when the Premiership comes back, we've got Watford, Liverpool.
Watford, Liverpool. I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool.
I'll go 2-1. 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay.
Villa, Wolves. Is that Black Country derby or something in it?
Yeah, it's there. Yeah, derby. I'll go 2-0 Villa.
2-0 Villa.
Depending on what Villa turn up.
I'll go for a 1-1 that one.
Okay.
You got a hard game. You've got quite a hard running, haven't you, Man U? They've got like 6 hard games coming up now, to be honest. I'm a bit worried about them. I'm a bit worried for Ollie, to be honest. If he doesn't come through these 6 games well, he might be gone in 6 games' time. But you've got Leicester.
Joe, that's a difficult one. 2-1 United.
2-1. I'm going to have a draw. I'm going 2-2.
Okay.
Man City, Burnley, the mighty Burnley.
3-0 City.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0 City on that one. Norwich, Brighton, Norwich at home. Are they going to get?
Sounds like an exciting game, doesn't
points?
it? Can Norwich get to Christmas without a win? Norwich, Brighton. Blimey. It's going to be an edge of the seat one, isn't it? I'll go 0-0. It'd probably be 4-4.
0-0. Norwich, Brighton. Brighton away win. 2-0. Southampton, Leeds. Southampton at home.
2-2.
I've got 2-1 Southampton. Brentford, Chelsea. London derby.
Come on, Brentford.
Brentford at home.
Let's go 2-1 Brentford. Come on.
Brentford done Arsenal, done West Ham.
Taking points off Liverpool. I'm going to beat Chelsea.
I'm going to go 2-2. Everton, West Ham.
Oh, that'd be a good game. 2-2. Do you know what? I like David Moyes. I feel like he's getting his career back on track. You know, he's done good things at Everton. You know, United didn't treat him really well, and I think he went off the boil for a little bit. No fault of his own, really, but I feel like he's really sort of building his career back up now.
Yeah, I'll go 3-1 Everton in that one.
Okay.
Newcastle, Tottenham. Newcastle at home.
I reckon you'll do him 3-0.
I don't know about 3-0. 2-1 win Tottenham.
Got to be beating Newcastle, surely.
You'd like to think so. You'd like to think so, to be honest. But I'd like to have thought we would have beat Arsenal the week before. So, do you mean can't say at the minute? But yeah, I'd take us to do Newcastle, and then Arsenal, Palace. Vieira back at.
Oh yeah. Do you know that'd be a good game? Actually, I think there's goals in that game. Let's go 3-2 Palace.
Oh, Palace away 3-2 to Arsenal. I'm never going to back Arsenal for a win, so we're going to go.
I think that's more wishful thinking from me, but
yeah, and me. We're going to go. It might be a 2-2 draw actually. That one, to be honest, I can't see Palace beating them. Yeah, so 2-2. So that's pretty much the roundup. That's the last week's football and predictions and reviews. That's the 3 picks of the week. A little touch on them, obviously. A bit of AJ and Usyk. Can't wait for the rematch. Touch on the international and the predictions for the week after the international. So I think we pretty much nailed it all tonight, Tom.
Absolutely. What we do as well, if you want, later on in the week, we'll do the Fury Wilder trilogy, 3rd fight coming Saturday night, early hours Sunday morning in this country. But yeah, I'm so excited for the Fury 3rd fight. I just hope that he goes out there, puts it on him, just like how he finished the 2nd fight, puts it on him from round 1. We all know that Wilder's got a ticking time bomb in his right hand, and the longer you give him, then the more chance of it going off. He's got to go out there, put it on him instantly, and I hope he absolutely smashes him. After all the stuff that he was coming out with after he beat him, my suit was too heavy, there was stuff in your gloves, all the controversial comments about Fury, rather than just coming out and going, do you know what, I was beaten by the better man on the night, like AJ does. Massive respect to him for doing that. But yeah, so excited. I'll be getting up early to watch that one Saturday, Sunday morning. Yeah, so buzzing for that. If you're still watching, go down below in the comments, put your predictions for that fight. Hope you like this video. And tomorrow we've got another video coming out. We done an interview last week with a man that had been gambling for many years, lost £250,000 within 10 months, and spent many years of his life in prison due to gambling. So yeah, if you like the channel, then check out that video tomorrow. But yeah, mate, I think we've covered it all off. Yeah, perfect evening, Tomo. Do you know what? After a long day, I think I'm gonna probably go make myself a bacon sandwich, cup of tea. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. What is the time? I don't know. 9, 10 o'clock. I don't even know where I am, to be honest. Fair play to you, mate. Working Sunday, finished at 7:15 today. Straight on here to do the podcast. If if that's not a good work ethic, mate, I don't know what is. So yeah, I'll let you crack on. Enjoy your you enjoy the rest of your evening, what there is left of it, and I'll catch up with you later in the week, mate.
Laters, mate. Pleasure.
Yeah. See you later. Thank you, everyone.